Greetings and welcome to this week's episode of the Pixel Crashers podcast, a podcast where we discuss our thoughts on gaming news. I am Angelus de Mortiel, together with Kev the Gamer.
Darius!
Thought I had you muted again, didn't you? And Deathshroud09.
Hey, how's it going?
Good stuff. So this week...
And don't forget about Deadpool.
Deadpool, he's become kind of a silent observer. He's actually to your right, I suppose.
Yeah, right there?
Yeah, directly. There you go. Yeah.
I'm just saying, as a regular member of the podcast, we cannot hate on Deadpool.
Yeah, no, he's actually the smartest person on this podcast, which is not saying a whole lot. So in any case,
I am not confirming nor denying that fact.
You don't have to. Just by not confirming it, you kind of confirmed it.
Isn't true.
So in any case, obviously, as the title implies, this is our Season 1 finale, which we will touch on more what that means and where we're going from here at the end. But before we get there, Kev, what games have you been playing this week?
Back to the Future. I played some of that, some Doom, of course Overwatch, and I gave Ninja Turtles Mutants Out of Manhattan another shot, and of course Gears.
Back to the Future. So what's that game like?
Telltale, the Back to the Future Telltale game.
I have not played that.
It's old. It's from like 2009, I think. It's a Telltale game. It's one of their older ones when they had puzzles in their point and click adventures.
Ooh.
I prefer the newer ones. That's because I don't really like puzzle games.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it's a Telltale game. It just has puzzles in it.
Is that kind of like why you didn't like Unravel, because it was a puzzle game? And
yeah, and I don't like puzzles in games. Hell, like I tolerate the puzzles in like Uncharted.
Mm-hmm.
I tolerate them. Sometimes if I just don't feel like dealing with it, I will look it up on YouTube. I know that's kind of blasphemy to say.
Cheating ass motherfucker.
Because I want. Yeah, it is.
Hey, let's get real.
Get back to the combat.
Let's
get back to the combat. The story.
Let's get real.
I don't care
it's
about
not. It's not like. It's not like we all haven't done it. I mean, you remember back in the day when GameFAQs used to be a thing. You know,
still is.
It's not as much anymore, but I mean, like for a while there, GameFAQs was like the go-to for all of your cheat code needs. Yep.
Walkthroughs.
Yep.
I remember playing Mortal Kombat 2 back in the day.
Yep.
And I would be on there and getting
you have to
memorize the fatalities.
Yeah, because you had to live on there. Because obviously the special moves were in the booklet, but the fatalities, those were secret.
Right. Oh no, but I was bad because I didn't even have internet at this point. Like, so I would go to my grandmother's house and I'd print off all the fatalities and I'd take it home with me.
Mm-hmm.
Because at that point we didn't have a computer in the house. This is like 94.
And now you can buy the fatalities.
Yes, you can buy one button fatalities.
How far we've come.
Oh, something else is fun to talk about. I got a fight stick. I got the Razer Aatrox. It's I got the 360 variant. But, I don't like playing fighters with modern controllers. I never have. So like after the 6-button Genesis one, it spoiled me. And I never wanted to use a controller for fighters that wasn't that.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to get used to the joystick and the muscle memory of having 8 buttons there, but it feels great. Hey, Travis, you have another fan in the chat.
I kind of suspect that might be Rachel. Purdy Moonlight. I kind of feel like that might be a little territorial action going on here, guys. Yeah. This is not the territory for that.
Don't get banned.
Too late.
We do have mods, and we're not afraid to use them.
Should be. I like Skyrim mods. I like mods.
What's up, cats? Anyway, Cat 5 cats. Anyway, so yeah, like by the way, with the whole puzzle thing, I think that kind of lends credence to the original statement about Deadpool and being the smartest guy in here.
But who's smarter, Deadpool or the Riddler?
Well, that's a tough question. Depends. it does depend, because the Riddler is not crazy enough to potentially fathom the craziness that is Deadpool.
Facts.
That's really your major thing going on there, right? Is that Taskmaster, if I can say the fucking name right, Taskmaster was beaten by Deadpool because Deadpool was just so fucking crazy that Taskmaster couldn't fucking predict him. And that's saying something. It's Taskmaster. I can't even fucking say that name.
Taskmaster.
Yeah, he was the guy that predicted everybody's stuff because that was his special power. Deadpool was just too much, too crazy. There can never be too crazy when your name is Deadpool.
That is true.
So anyway, Travis,
game.
yeah, what how close are you to getting a proper gaming PC?
Unspecified.
Well,
So,
I mean,
let me rephrase the question. How close is Rachel to getting a proper gaming PC?
I don't know,
Better
probably
question.
closer than me, because I don't know. Whatever.
Well, I mean, I guess a good question. I was thinking about this too, because I made a video and put it out about this morning. Laptops and people playing so many games on laptops. Is there really anything that you really can't play? You know, as long as you keep the resolution in line on that laptop, for the most part. I mean, obviously you're not playing The Witcher on it.
It's so, like, I think I might, like, if I factory reset it, get everything all right, like, it's pretty old, you know, the hard drive is, you know, at least 3 years old.
Katz is wondering why you're so pasty, Kev. Yeah, no, but
it's to blind the ladies that come into the chat.
yeah, that's what it is. So Travis, though, like, obviously you've been able to at least, you know, run stuff like Undertale and games like that.
Yeah, like I've been playing stuff,
Indies.
you know, stuff like FTL and Binding of Isaac and
Indies.
Into the Gungeon. Yeah, you know,
Indies.
small indie games, stuff that I can run on my potato. And, you know, just getting to it whenever I can. You know, right now I'm kind of glad I didn't build the PC when I did because, you know, some monetary setbacks have happened and I kind of needed the money now that I would have spent then. And plus these new cards are coming out. So maybe once the prices drop on the new cards, whichever
the pre-inflation MSRPs actually start coming into effect. Rather than this stupid price gouging bullshit that's going on right now.
Yeah. Once the prices start getting sane, I might look into, you know, getting a card and such.
You heard it here first. Travis getting a 1060.
Oh no, he's getting a 1080. Don't let him try to fool you. We all know he's gonna have like some beast machine. He's gonna be like, oh, it's just a potato. It's only got a, you know, an i7 4950.
I'm gonna make my.
I'm only going to enjoy having the most powerful PC here for a few more weeks, basically.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make my tower, make my case out of cardboard. Slap some duct tape on there.
The case is gonna be cardboard and duct tape, and inside he's gonna have a dual i7 motherboard, you know, with like all these fancy lightings and shit, and everybody's gonna be like, man, that thing's a potato, and then you open up the cardboard and they're like,
so what's gonna run
the
hotter?
Fuck is wrong with you?
I hope he doesn't go AMD because that's just gonna be hot as hell if he does that.
That shit's not gonna be hot as hell. It's gonna burn to the ground. It's cardboard, man. It's cardboard. It's paper.
Cardboard plus AMD.
Yeah, exactly. That's just asking for a house fire going on, right?
I've got the hottest PC in town.
Yup.
Hottest PC on the planet.
Hottest PC on the planet.
Hey, you know, and at that point, you know, I know Kev might know the saying, but I don't know if Travis does the whole mixtape saying. He can be like, that PC's it's that fire.
That hot fire.
Anyway, so fun times. But have you actually played any games other than that? And
I'm here.
Apparently, the cameras are all disappeared.
I will set my camera back up in a moment. What did you ask again?
Games.
Yeah, games. No new games. Just old games, really. A lot of the newer games that I have, I bought on sales, and you know, I probably I want to play them whenever my, you know, machine will be able to play it smoothly. Nothing breaks immersion for me like FPS drops.
Oh, okay. let's dispel the rumor here, because according to facts and truth, the human eye can't see more than 24 frames per second.
There was a dev that said that. I saw that in the PC Master subreddit. I think it was one of the devs from Blizzard, actually.
Why does that not surprise me?
Like, I mean, how realistic is that? Like, is that
The eye does not
bullshit.
see. The eye does not see in frames per second. So anybody that says the eye can't see more than
I mean-
X frames per second is full of shit.
because I legitimately remember playing like Call of Duty Black Ops and noticing their weird lag compensation nonsense that was going on,
Mm-hmm.
and like
So here's the
it's
thing: is that with frames per second is that obviously it's a still image, displayed at a fast rate. Like say 24 frames per second means it takes a still image, and you show 24 still frames within a second. The eye doesn't see that way. It's more or less a continuous stream of information, and the faster something moves, typically your brain can track it in near real time. However, if it goes too fast, then your brain can't see all of the motion for it, and it therefore then tricks your brain into seeing the motion with what's known as motion blur, natural motion blur.
right.
That's
Not
the way.
the motion blur that's used to cover up bad frame rates.
Yeah, it's not artificial motion blur, which is what's used in games to give a false, like say racing games, how they introduce motion blur on the edge of the frame so that it looks like you're moving faster than you are. Well, your car's sitting in one spot on the screen, right? And it might turn sideways or whatever, but it's sitting in one spot, and everything else around the car is what's actually moving according to the actual game engine.
I think console games are a better example of this because they all have motion blur. Otherwise, the frame rate drops would be atrocious. Like if there was nothing there to smooth them out.
Well, I mean, yeah, you obviously see it in that as well, but the prime
It's very
example,
apparent in those.
the one I always used as an example, those racing games, because it's so like every racing game has it, because
I turned it off.
yeah, but like that's the thing though, is that your brain will already make motion blur. The concern that people have is that they'll like somehow without motion blur that somehow it's worse on their eyes. It's like no, your eyes can do their own motion blurring.
What I never understood when we're talking about motion blur too is when I turn a game on ultra settings, why does the game auto turn on motion blur? I'm already playing at 60 frames per second. I don't need motion blur. It makes me nauseous.
Honestly, I don't know why. It's a very
Maybe for the people whose cards can't really handle, like they can play 60 sometimes at ultra, like say maybe like a 960 or something.
yeah.
Like it has this moment, but then if it dips down, it's maybe a better transition.
Maybe. I don't know. The one thing I do know is that most motion blur is near non-existent at, around the 200 hertz mark, which is, 200 still images per second. That's whenever actual frame drops are completely invisible to the human eye. That's like as nearest to real time as possible. But the thing is that it's not a still was it a linear increase. It's not.
I honestly don't notice frame drops is bad after like 100 frames.
It's actually a curve. So like say 200 to 150, you really don't notice a difference. And then 150 to 100, maybe a little difference. And then 100 to 60, really not a little bit of difference again. And then 60 to 30, big
Drastic.
difference. And every frame below 30 is just dramatically increasing badness, whereas you get 10 frames per second and it's just so bad that it's unplayable, right? So
and that's always subjective too because I can't play anything under 30.
Well, no, I mean completely unplayable, as in not a oh gosh, this feels stupid, and I hate this, but you could deal with it. You could force yourself through it. Whereas if
Or
it's like
I
10
don't know
frames,
where I am right now.
yeah, like at 10 frames per second, you're literally starting to play a slideshow, like that
10
bad.
seconds, 10 frames. I'm still think 20.
Yeah, no, 24, you can still get by. It's going to look like shit, but you can get by. You can actually
You're shitting
operate.
on our console audience right now, dude.
Actually, 24 frames per second is the cinema way. Yes, and DM Rogue can attest to this because DM Rogue, like Travis, also plays on a potato.
So basically, Travis's potato can handle Overwatch, is what I'm hearing. And he still hasn't played it with us.
I honestly don't know, but I mean, Rogue plays Overwatch on a potato, and he manages to not die all the time. Oh, you used to. Oh, that's right. I apologize. Correction. Rogue did what Travis didn't. He actually built a high-end computer. But yes, so he actually has like a 1070 and stuff like that in his rig now. So he's actually, yeah, I forgot about that. That's okay, Rogue. You're still going to be the potato man for a while longer, so Travis can feel good about himself.
Well, I mean, eventually we'll get Rogue on here.
Eventually. We'll also, yeah.
At some point,
maybe I'll sell some stuff and.
Well, by the reaction you get on these live streams, you might sell yourself.
That's what I'm saying. Sell sperm.
Taters. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, in any case, though, let's go ahead and get moving on to our first story of the day, since I haven't played a whole lot interesting stuff except for Dragon Age Origins. Started to play some more of that stuff, and then Overwatch, which, if anybody didn't know that I played Overwatch, where the fuck have you been?
Parties are filthy casual confirmed.
Yeah. Anyway, so our first story for the night is going to be discussing how Kev is a peasant, and how we don't know how he has continued to claim to be some kind of PC master race guy when we all know that he's a peasant, right?
Glorious.
So in any case, so exactly what the real story is actually about the GTX 1060. So, and by the way, Rogue is also put in a bid for you as well, Travis. So, but in any case, so the GTX 1060 was released this week. Proper benchmarks showing that its performance is close to the GTX 980. The concern is that while the MSRP is around $250, the trend for all of these new graphics cards has shown them being sold for considerably more, at least for now. The question is, time frame taken into account, is it currently worth it? Does it actually compete with the 480? And yes, Kevin and I have discussed this at length, but we're still going to open it up to you guys again.
I'm going to say, rather than getting price gouged, see if you can find a cheap 980.
Yeah. Or the 970s are now, $200 in a lot of places.
My 970, I have a 970. That thing's still a beast.
Mm-hmm. 980s are probably going to be sitting around the $300 mark or something like that.
Yeah, I would say fuck wait and just get a 980.
But yeah, but do you think, first of all, that the 1060, say, obviously price gouging doesn't seem as much worth it, right? Because right now it's selling for $450, a lot of locations, which to me is not, that seems a little steep.
Just a little bit?
Yeah, just a little bit. That's like a 250 or 150%, no, 250% price hike. But do you guys think the MSRP is a good price for the performance of it?
$250? Hell yeah.
Anything, Travis? I mean, would you build a computer with a $250 card that runs like a 980?
It's a $250 card that does 1440p comfortably.
Yeah. Well, and I guess the comparison there would be to the 480. The 480 8 gigabyte is like $230.
And
and
it can do 1440p comfortably too.
yeah, you can do 1440p. It sits at like if the 1060 is just barely below the 980 in performance, the 480 is just barely above the 970 for performance. So they both kind of sit in that same region in between two
Yeah,
cards.
yeah. I think the cool thing is here what a lot of people. I've seen some people talking about it, not and some people not. The 480, the 4 and 8 gigabyte versions have the same performance.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's talking about the 8 gig. I think the 4 gig is a great value proposition.
For $200.
It's for $200. It's slightly more powerful than a 970. Like we're talking like 5 frames per second difference. Um, but for $200, that's not bad at all. I did see a deal this week on Newegg. They had the 970 for 175. That's a hell of a deal too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these cards are amazing. Like 1080p is done. Now I think the only reason people are still gaming at 1080p is because they have the monitors. But as soon as the price for monitors for 1440p start to come down a little more, I think everybody's going to go to 1440p.
And speaking of that, that's an interesting proposition as well, because that might bring the price of gaming, like PC gaming, down, because you say nobody plays on 1080 anymore.
Well, no. I'm
However,
saying the hardware now is overkill for 1080.
right.
Well,
Like, all
for
the
these cards.
Yeah, well, for most of them, I don't see these. I'm waiting to see what the 1050 does.
Well,
I'm not overtly
what I
concerned
wanna
about the
see
lower
is,
end
like,
AMD stuff.
I want to see a glut of used 1080 monitors thrown onto the market as well for cheap.
Yeah, because that's
Oh, yeah,
the thing is that
you can already get a 1080p monitor for $100.
well the thing where I'm looking at, right, is that the people looking into these budget PC builds, right, they get a 1050, they get a 470, and they can get a 1080p monitor for much cheaper, because if the 1440p monitors drop in price, then 1080p monitors also will drop in price, because they don't want to be competing in the same zone, right? So you can get
Right.
you may be able to get a $75 1080p monitor.
Oh,
You
yeah, get
know,
like a $50 1080p monitor with $150, $200 1440ps out there.
yeah, exactly. So that's the thing, is that has some good implications for getting people into those budget builds a bit more. If you get a $150, 1050 or whatever it's going to be, I assume probably around the $150 mark. But with the 480 now, as per what Kev and I were discussing earlier, with the 480, there was a few instances of one of the places being, or I think AMD or something like that, being out of the 4 gigabyte model and sending out 8 gigabyte models
And disabling the last 4.
yeah, disabling the last 4 gigs in the BIOS, in which case that will take a very minuscule hack for someone to re-enable that, and bam, it's right up to par. But aside from that, though, $200 for a 4 gig card, $230 for an 8 gig card, and then the $250 for the 6 gigabyte 1060. As Kev and I were talking about, I don't really think we're going to see a whole lot of games that are really touching 8 gigs of frame buffer space yet.
Not with these cards.
4 gigs will do well in most games now, but in the future, as games start tapping into more into the 1070 realm, into the 1440p realm or higher, then you might see that 4 gigs seem a little bit weak at max
Yeah,
settings.
well, see, when I game at 1440p now. I've been doing it for like 3-4 months.
Mm-hmm.
My 970, like the only game where I've actually been able to tax out that frame buffer or the video RAM is GTA 5, and I had to crank it up to and Batman Arkham Knight.
That game was horribly optimized, though.
Well, no. I'm saying they added the VRAM count, and I was able to crank up the VRAM to go past the 4.
Mm-hmm.
And GTA 5 did it as well. But but like I said, you can work around that. Playing at 1080p, you really don't need much more than 2 gigs of video RAM. Like, period. The two biggest taxations to video RAM are resolution and anti-aliasing. Well, how much anti-aliasing do you need at a higher resolution? Not much.
Well, the thing is that it's the essentially they call the technical definition on there is 1440p or 2K as it's also called is
Right.
actually also called quad HD.
Right. 4 times 720p.
Yeah, exactly. And so with that on there is the base kind of stipulation for a lot of your frames that gets rendered. I think it was DirectX 9 was capped at like 1K texture resolutions, which meant a frame could, I think, only be at max like 50 megabytes or something like that, which is relatively small. And back then, when DirectX 9 was used, that you had 1 gig cards were the mainstream, which was a few years back. Now, obviously, if you have a 1 gig card, that's you barely got anything. Like 2 gigs is bare minimum. And 4, 8, 16, 572 gigabytes. Those are all the mainstream. Not really, but the essentially the and Kevin and I were talking the exponential growth of frame buffers. Essentially the larger resolution adds multipliers on top of the space you need, and then anti-aliasing, also is a multiplier on there. So if you're wanting to play a game at 1440p, is with anti-aliasing cranked to the max, 8x anti-aliasing, whatever, you might go for the 8 gig model or the 6 gig 1060. But if you're playing like a if you're running high frame or high res settings on 1440p or ultra at 1080p, any of those cards will be overkill for you, honestly, at 1080p. At that point, I would probably be saving money and just getting a 1050 or a 470.
Right. Or even try to grab one of the 900 series cards.
Yeah, 900 series. I'm still waiting for the Fury to drop down in price and see if that gets a huge price.
If the Fury drops down to a good enough price, I may just jump on it. I already have a free sync monitor. Don't tempt me.
Yeah, well, Fury X specifically, that's the one you really want to go for.
I don't want the Fury X because I don't have the space for the cooler on my case because I already have fans in there. So I'm specifically looking for a Fury.
Sounds like you need to get good. That's what that sounds like.
I could pull the fans, but I just don't want to. I have my blue LED fans, and I like them. I'm kind of attached to them.
Anyway,
so you can keep them.
Any case,
you can get a Fury.
So Travis, if you were trying to budget for a computer to build, and like from a person who would just be blindly shopping and just seeing price tags, and do you think that you would be more keen to like say, 1060 is not really that much difference? Do you think that the cheaper AMD card would be more attractive to you just because you're saving some money off of it?
I mean, personally, like, I don't know, like AMD is just. I need to do more research because, like, currently with the zero research and hearsay that I'm at right now, I just don't want to deal with AMD.
Hearsay will fuck you up in PC gaming.
Oh yeah,
because hearsay just says AMD is trash.
Well, no, that depends on the hearsay, right? You go to some hearsay.
You got the AMD fanboys that say otherwise.
Yeah, exactly.
But the majority are NVIDIA fanboys.
I'm not at the point of saying AMD is trash. I'm just at the point of saying I'd rather not deal with potential issues from what I've heard.
Yeah.
Right. Here's the big thing to take away from NVIDIA versus AMD. Unless you're buying a flagship card, they're pretty much neck and neck. When you talk about low end, mid range, AMD, in my opinion, does better at the low end, and in the mid range, we're talking about that $200-300 range. It's neck and neck. I actually last time around. I actually gave AMD the edge with the RX 390 or the R9 390 as opposed to over the 970. I feel the AMD card was better.
Yeah, I call the mainstream range being $200 to $400 because I like to
Right.
include the 390X in there because honestly, you get performance. It's a little bit better than the 970. And I feel like it's kind of unfair.
Even the standard 390 has better performance than the 970.
Just by a bit, yeah. But it's not like it's not. It is between the 970 and the 980. It's not quite to the 980 level. If you compare the 390X to the 980, the 980 wins. And that's
right. And the jump between the 970 and the 980, it's there, but it's not. Oh my god.
Well, no. That's actually a huge bump, believe it or not, and that's why the price is so different. Because the 970 is actually on a completely different die set. It's on the GM. What is it? 206, and the 980 is on the GM 204. I think is what it is, something like that. They're on a different actual GPU set.
Right. This is the point where the technicality I don't follow as much. I follow benchmarks. The benchmarks that I saw, like real world performance.
There's usually a decent bump in between the 980 and the 970 when you look at the benchmarks. But
when I saw them, I thought
when we're talking about graphics cards. When we're talking about graphics cards, we have to look at things other than benchmarks, right? As well. The thing about AMD, like, that would turn me off of them is not their benchmarks. It would be their compatibility with, certain games, their compatibility with certain programs, certain issues with drivers like that. That would be my issue rather than
usually with AMD with games. If you're one of those people who just buys games the day it comes out, AMD will probably give you some issues for like a week when they finally put their driver out a week later.
So here's the thing.
DX12 is actually.
However, I've heard of games that have had issues with AMD for months upon months, if not for the entirety of the game.
So here's the thing: is that you will have certain games that directly favor one card or another, and that's
right, like Hitman.
Hitman or
Hitman
Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Rise of the Tomb Raider favors AMD.
Yeah, like they're essentially, they have their own, like, and you'll see, like, when the game's loading up, does it have like a plug for AMD or NVIDIA in it? Chances are that means that it's going to run better on that card, because especially when you start getting into, like, say, Witcher, Witcher with its hair works, that's NVIDIA proprietary API shit. That usually means that they built the game around NVIDIA. But when it comes to the benchmarks versus software, now, in a lot of cases, the tertiary capabilities of NVIDIA usually is the selling point of their software. Like, for example, Shadowplay. Shadowplay is superior to the Plays.tv nonsense that AMD has, or Raptor, whatever you call it. Raptor Gaming Evolve, Plays.tv, whatever. Shadowplay is hands down better. And also, continuing on with that, other API functions of the drivers are also better on AMD. For example, NVENC encoder and the NVHM something or another, which is a frame capture that Steam can use for the in-home streaming. It captures the frame directly out of the frame buffer, as opposed to having to let the graphics card chew it and spit it out first and then grab it. Is it really something that most people are going to care about? No. Not really. There's a few, like me and like 5 other people. Those are the people that care about that.
Which is exactly why I talk about benchmarks.
Yeah,
because I think your average gamer only is going to care, can I get the performance I want?
Now the thing is,
you're going to get better performance, like I said, at the top end from NVIDIA for the most part, but AMD is usually great for your money.
And the important thing to note is that benchmarks, and now Kev disagrees and says that synthetic benchmarks are useless. I find them useful for certain things other than the actual game performance. Like, for example, the 480, one of the things that concerns the hell out of me about the 480 is whenever they did a Furmark benchmark on it, and then they threw a little infrared camera on the card. I thought that it was going to actually burn a hole through the card as hot as that thing would get. That's where synthetic benchmarks are helping, is finding those other things like power draw usage, heat generation, that sort of thing. Not necessarily just what frames it's going to get. Like, yeah, they give you numbers, and they give you numbers to compare with other graphics cards, but some games, that's not really going to tell you what the game's going to be like. So if it's the software that's really the main thing with AMD, they're not bad. NVIDIA, I've seen them generally have more solid stuff there, but
Right. Like, and Shadowplay is the shit. I adore Shadowplay.
yeah.
Like, Morty tried to sell me on OBS, and he just couldn't get me off of Shadowplay. Like, Shadowplay
Whereas
is
if you had an
fucking
AMD
phenomenal.
card and you're using Raptor Gaming Evolved, it would have been much easier. Not to say that Gaming Evolved
Actually,
is not.
I've used Gaming Evolved. I don't think it's bad software. I just think Shadowplay is better.
Hey, what's up, Gaming Lord?
Hey, what up,
Yeah,
Game-
yeah, but the thing is that it's not bad, but it's definitely far inferior to Shadowplay in the way it works and how efficient it is, because Shadowplay uses that one thing I was talking about where it's a direct frame grab. So it's actually much more efficient use of resources to use Shadowplay, whereas Raptor is just literally, it's like OBS. It's recording the screen, right? Or recording the game program itself after it's been rendered by the graphics card. So it's a much higher level and less efficient way of doing it. But yeah, that I know that we just overwhelmed the shit out of Travis. I think he's about to he's like, the fuck
Pass
you guys
out.
talking about?
Yeah, like numbers,
And things and benchmarks and things that
Yep,
no
see,
real
and this
person
is-
cares about, except
and
for
this
Terry
is why
Crews.
I keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Talk about frame rates. Because that's what I think is really important. to
Except
people.
if you're Terry
That's-
Crews. Terry Crews wants the SLI is 1080, baby.
Oh yeah, did you see the one he put up a video today using the Vive? And then he had the little Ryzen desk too.
Dude,
Like,
dude, that guy.
that's badass.
I have never seen a guy who has just dived more
dived in so
headlong, more wholeheartedly. The guy really fucking loves this shit. It's amazing to watch,
It's
honestly.
glorious.
Yeah, but in any case, let's go ahead and get moving on here.
I
So we didn't actually talk about the trends with the 480 either too much.
I
And how it
really
competes
can't
with the
think
480.
of a better person to represent represent
'Cause
really.
he's
I
just so
can't.
over the top and just.
Have you gone by the PC Master Race subreddit ever since Terry said he was going to build that PC? It's basically the Terry Crews subreddit at this point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every meme is Terry Crews. They put him in a toga and gave him the PC Master Race hair.
Yep.
And then made it into a GIF.
Yep.
So the hair flows.
There's also the explosion, and him and
It's dropping the graphics card.
he's been watching it. He's been watching it because he posted up like a little video of him going PC Master Race, and then he flexes his arm and does like the dancing muscle things. Like, he's been watching that shit. He knows people are posting about it, so he's playing into it. He loves the
Oh, yeah.
reception he's gotten from it.
But
But yeah, in any case,
so happy.
so Kev, what were you talking about there before we move on?
Oh, everybody was talking about the comparisons between the two. I guess we did kind of touch on it a little bit. I guess the real question is, everybody's gonna ask, well, what's the winner?
I don't do that. I don't do that. See, my thing is that yeah, people are going to say they want a winner because people want to live in this dichotomy world, right? Where AMD versus Nvidia and Xbox versus PlayStation. Fuck off. No, I don't play that game. Listen, you got $200. You want a great card? 480 is gonna do what you want. You got $250 and you want the card that's gonna work best for you. Get the 1060. You got $500, whatever. Like you get the best card for the budget you have. And right now their prices are pretty comparable to the performance that you get. The 1060 has a little bit better performance, but a little bit higher price. The 4 gig 480 is cheaper, a little bit less performance. You're getting what you pay for.
For the money, the 480, and this is what I keep saying about AMD. People have been telling me I'm fanboying for AMD. No, it's that I'm just saying AMD simply just isn't bad, especially not for the money. It's really good for what you pay.
Yeah, well, like I said, they're very competitively priced, and their prices are affordable. $250 is not too terrible for a 60 series card. Especially like I was saying, 660 was like $300 at launch. I think so was the 760, and of course those have dropped down over time, and so will the 1060, and so will the 480. A year from now they'll be under $200, both of them, guarantee it. But right now, what money you have, you get whatever the best card you can get for your money. I'm not going to call one a winner because they're not exactly the same competing cards. They're slightly different price brackets.
I'm still going to call 1060 a winner.
It's a good card. I definitely would not fault anybody for getting it. I would not fault anybody for getting a 480. Now that the board power draw issues have been taken care of, yes, it does generate a lot of heat, so you do want to make sure that you have proper cooling. Otherwise,
we'll talk about that board again because that guy's going to come back to the comment section.
Listen.
The guy that was fanboy.
Yeah, that fanboy on your video there.
Before they actually fixed it.
Yeah, he was saying
they're going to fix it. It's going to be amazing, but we haven't seen it yet. Let's let them do it first.
He called the problem fixed because they announced that they were going to do a fix. That's not actually fixed. That means that
hopefully they're going to do something.
Yeah.
They said they were going to fix Arkham Knight, and we saw how that turned out.
Yeah. All I told him, I was like, straight up, hey man, when they release it, cool. My thing is that I don't owe any loyalty to a company that I bought products from. Transaction was
no here, bro.
Yeah. Like shout out to Black Bond on there. Ain't no corporate slaves here except for Travis. He's a shill for them game consoles.
Actually, let's not lie here. Morty's a corporate shill for Logitech. I said it.
No,
somebody had.
The thing is you say that because they've simply made superior products. That have been durable. That's not me shilling for the company. It's just that the products that I bought were the superior choices for that. As far as keyboard goes, don't get me wrong. I mean, like the G910 Orion Spark looks fucking awesome and shit. But is it gonna really be any different from half the other RGB light up fancy ass $150 plus gaming keyboards out there? No. And is it really useful to me at all? No. You know why? Because I don't fucking game on a keyboard. I game with a G13, so it's not going to really do anything for me. Do I wish that they would release a new version of the G13? Abso-fucking-lutely. I can't wait for them to do that. I will be all over that shit. But since it's such a solid made device, it hasn't needed an upgrade. That should tell you everything you need to know. Like, freaking Razer has had to release 20,000 versions of their Orb Weaver because they can't fucking get it right.
I haven't had any, we always talk about me and my Razer stuff.
My
Razer products are solid.
Yeah, like you have the Death Adder mouse, right?
I have the Death Adder Chroma mouse, I have the Leviathan soundbar, and I have the Aatrox fight stick.
Okay, why I don't know if I didn't know you had the fight stick on that.
I just got the fight stick.
Yeah. But you were also talking about Hori, and I was like,
somebody I got a.
I never even fucking heard of Hori, And
I've heard of them. I heard more of their fight sticks.
No, that's the thing is that's all they make. Like, I mean, there's a few other things, but you go to their website. That's all they fucking make. They're fucking fight sticks, and I was looking at reviews. Not that great.
Yeah,
like your Razer.
I tried a fight stick, one of the Ori ones last weekend. It was supposed to work for PS4, PS3, PC. It detected, couldn't get it to work in game. I got this Ori race wheel. I should have looked deeper into it. I was like, oh, it's an Xbox racing wheel. It'll work. I want to play it. I want to play Forza Horizon 3 when it comes out with a race wheel. Mm-hmm. And it's not too expensive. Thing doesn't detect on PC. I assumed it would because it was an Xbox peripheral.
That's
and on top of that, it barely works with Xbox.
No, you know what?
That's my fault for not researching.
The one that I've always wanted to play with, and I don't know the quality, and they're also seem to be geared towards the console. Like Logitech does have racing wheels. I don't really care about the racing wheels.
$450 one.
No, they're $150.
Oh,
150
I
hunters.
saw a set that was like 4 or something.
I don't know. The one I was always curious about is that it was the first, and probably a lot of them all do this now, but back when I first saw it, it was the first racing wheel I saw that came with a fucking shifter. And I was like, oh my god. Really? That's fucking awesome.
I have an uncle. He's about my age. Who had a race wheel with a shifter. It was a Mad Catz on the PS1.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. It's been around. It was just the first time I saw it because most of the time I was seeing it is like the Mad Catz ones for the Xbox One. I saw no shifter. It was very basic. But let's be honest, nobody can do a fucking peripheral quite as well as Steel Battalion.
I've never heard of Steel Battalion.
If you haven't, that's not a company. It's a video game. Look up Steel Battalion video game. It was for the original Xbox. The fucking controller, I'm pretty certain, took up all 4 fucking ports on the console. But good God, was it the most glorious fucking thing I have ever goddamn seen. So Steel Battalion is a mech simulator game. So like, Mech Warrior, but more technical. The controller is a console, like if you were sitting in the fucking mech.
Glorious.
Yeah, and I was so sad because the game was $250 back in the day. Whenever Xbox games were $50, right? So it cost $200 for that damn controller for that game.
We're talking about the OG Xbox.
Yeah, OG Xbox. Yeah, the original Xbox, and the game tanked obviously because it priced itself out of a market. Like very few people had it. But I so wish I would have fucking at some point gotten that damn thing because you know how much that thing would be worth now? Nobody can play it, but just collecting it is amazing.
Now think about that, and then on top of that, you have to pay for Xbox Live. That's an expensive ass game.
Yeah, there was no. Well, I mean, there was Xbox Live back then, but ain't no fucking played Xbox Live. Because
so everybody jumped on it on the 360 then?
Yeah. Well, the thing is that it was really janky and didn't work very well on Xbox. And then Xbox 360 came out and they had smooth things out a lot more, build up the infrastructure more, and then it was actually a presentable product. If you paid for Xbox Live on the original Xbox, you kind of got ripped off.
I still think you're getting ripped off. So.
Well, no, even more so because it was like there was no value to it, and then now there's a little bit of value to it.
I don't
not enough to justify the price.
I don't think value in paying for multiplayer online.
Like if you want to charge me, no, Steel Battalion might have had a PC version, but that version I'm talking about was on the original Xbox. Zyphon, you and I had many discussions about that back in the day. I know it was on fucking Xbox. But
we are on the greatest encyclopedia in the world, and you guys are still arguing about if it was on Xbox or not.
Well, Travis should be looking this ship up right now because that's what he always does. Is whenever I mention something, he's like, "What's this?" But in any case, though, yeah, that was definitely an amazing controller. And I really wish that someone would do an actual version, like a new mech type version on that. Yes, Steel Battalion was exclusive to the original Xbox. And if anybody would care to see it, I will post up the link on YouTube here. There it is. Anyway, let's go ahead and get moving on there. So, in any case,
was it exclusive or console exclusive?
It was console exclusive. It was only on Xbox. The controller.
Okay, I said exclusive. No, it was a real exclusive.
Yeah, back in that day, they were real exclusives.
Like now they have console exclusive, meaning it's on PC too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, nowadays it doesn't mean the same thing. Wow, I guess it did sell decently well. Yeah. Oh, sorry, it was $200, not $250. But whatever the case is, still an amazing. I love what they tried to do there. Unfortunately, it was such a niche market. That's a hard sell, and unfortunately, they really priced themselves out of a market there. But whatever. Anyway, moving on back to his stories. So, also another thing we have to talk about is Trials of the Blood Dragon. So, in a desperate attempt to convince people that Uplay is viable, Ubisoft has devised quite an interesting marketing strategy. You can download a demo of Trials of the Blood Dragon. It's an expand-alone for Far Cry 3, I believe.
No, Trials of the Blood Dragon. This is for Trials.
HD or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
yeah, that's
Trials
right.
game that
The
came
bike,
out.
the bike game
Yeah.
where you flips and stuff.
You sure? Because I thought Blood
Yes.
Dragon was Far Cry.
Blood Dragon was Far Cry 3, but then they made Trials of the Blood Dragon, which was for the Trials HD.
Oh,
Motorcycle.
No, Trials of the Blood Dragon is, I believe, a Far Cry Blood Dragon, or it's a Far Cry Blood Dragon themed
Hybrid.
Trials game,
gotcha. Okay, so
Yeah.
but it's an
It's
expand-alone off
standalone.
of Trials.
I believe.
But in any case, though, so they released a demo of it that if you complete it by July 31st, which is coming up here soon, but if
And
you
you gotta
complete,
get ace it.
yeah,
gotta get it perfect.
15 faults or less, you get the full game for free. Now, you play shit and Ubisoft are a bunch of fucktards. But aside from that, what do you guys think about this kind of this idea of releasing a demo that has some sort of like a short level that you have to complete, and if you complete it with such an exceptional, level of skill, that you get the full game for free? Do you guys think that's a good marketing ploy for other game people to try, other than Fucksoft?
I'm glad that they're bringing back demos.
Yes.
They deserve a round of applause for that.
Well, no, that wasn't
because
just them. There was
I
someone
miss
else
demos.
that started the demo thing off, like at
They
E3.
have the Doom demo.
Yep, that was the one. That was the one.
But I'm glad. I want to see more demos for games come out. Every game should have a demo. There's no reason why at least the first level. I'm not asking for too much. I'm saying maybe the first mission, maybe two. You already do these beta weekends. Just give us like an hour of content of the game. These games are like 40 hours. Give us 1 hour or even 30 minutes that we can try.
Yeah.
See if we even like the game.
Well, that's my thing. Can we go back to the day whenever we would get those demos released? Like, I don't know about you, but I remember those PlayStation 1 demo discs.
I was just about to bring those up. The demo discs on the original PlayStation. The 360 had them too, and I got my 360 arcade. It had the disc, and you had like 12 games on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept that disc around for a while because my wife loved that thing.
Yeah.
She would just put the demo in, and she'd be playing Uno, or there was like this fish puzzle game she really liked. She likes the puzzle games. I don't like puzzle games.
Anybody else remember the Halo 2 map expansion that came on a disc?
Yep. Well, that was before.
Because
Because Halo 2 was originally launched on the Xbox.
Yeah.
It was cusp.
Yeah.
It was Xbox 360. So there's no real downloadable content per se on the original Xbox. That was where I was saying Xbox Live is kind of junk. There was no real point to it.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah.
I don't remember that, but that's mostly because my first Xbox was the 360, and I didn't even play Halo until I didn't play any of them.
He's
until,
talking about the
2015.
Killtacular map pack.
Yeah, I'm saying I didn't buy any map packs for Halo 2 because I didn't touch Halo until like 2013, 2014.
But they've obviously have long outgrown that. The game industry has. But Mike, Travis, do you think that people should start doing these skill-based demo, rewards?
I mean, I don't think it's good for every game, but for a game like Trials, I don't know if you guys have played Trials. I assume no.
I played a little bit of one of the old
I
ones.
played some Doritos themed trial
okay.
demo thing.
I
It was
mean,
so bad.
for Trials, right? It's good. And I think it's it fits the theme of the game, kind of thing. I'm not sure if it would work for like every style of game though.
Yeah, because you do have to. There is a skill level to it, and you do get skill ratings at the end of each level. And yes, it does need VR, Siphon. I agree. Trials with VR would be glorious.
Oh no, he was talking about Steel Battalion. You're a little bit behind.
Yeah, I see that.
Steel Battalion and VR with that fucking controller. Oh my god, would that be amazing?
It's basically No Man's Sky in VR, then, right?
Yeah, no. If No Man's Sky, holy shit! If No Man's Sky came out with a fucking console controller, sold. Take my money. Give me that cockpit experience. Oh my god. But yeah,
Actually, you can do that with Elite Dangerous.
you don't have the console, that console controller like that though.
Oh, okay. So you have to go get your own flight stick, and that kind of kills immersion because it's not 1-to-1.
No, it's not what I'm saying. I want to have a controller that kind of fits what I would be seeing in the VR experience. So it like literally like I have that flight simulator type experience where I feel like I'm in that fucking thing. That would be amazing. But aside from that, yeah, Xbox Live Gold had demos on the 360 for a while, and then they went to just giving away games. You know, and they
Well, hold on,
continue.
when you say giveaway games, we're not talking about we give you a game if you pay us $50 a year, right?
No, games with gold where, every month
Yeah, that's
they
what I'm talking about. We give you games if you give us $50 a year.
yeah.
That's not giving away. That's not free games.
Nah.
That's I give you $50 a year, and like now, my Xbox Live has been gone for like 2 months, and I can't play those games anymore.
That's only on Xbox One.
On the PS4 does it too.
No, I'm saying 360. If you had them, you had them. If your gold expired.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the store on the 360 wasn't set up that way. For PS3 and PS4, they'll take them back.
One of the reasons why I didn't buy it, because I was like, nope, fuck that shit. And at the time, they also didn't have any good games on there.
I saw it, and it was right around the time that I started getting into PC, and I was like, oh wait, these same games are dirt cheap right now on the PC. Like every time a game goes game for gold on Xbox or PlayStation, it always turns around and comes on sale, like the weekend after it's announced on PC. So it's like, oh, I can just get it dirt cheap and then say fuck them. Like, I don't have to keep paying them every year just to keep the game. So I just choose not to pay them again.
A lot of the thing, though, on where I was kind of like, my opinion on it was, even if they took it back in most cases, I didn't care. Like, I got Assassin's Creed 4 games with gold on Xbox 360. Played the shit out of that. Beat the hell out of it. Although I didn't kill all of the... I haven't talked about... Or I hadn't killed all of the legendary ships. I killed 3 of the 4 legendary ship battles on Assassin's Creed 4. But that was as far as I got. Aside from that, is that... I think Thief 4, I didn't beat that one. And I got that for free. So I didn't really care. What is this?
We should probably move on to our second story. I just realized because we have 30 minutes left.
Yeah, we're pretty late into it.
Yeah, we're pretty late in the game. Oh, yeah. Actually, I guess we did. That was our second story.
Yeah, that was our second story, and our third story is being even more fun because we just love this and can't stop talking about it.
I have one more question before we continue on.
Yes.
Have you guys been playing Pokemon Go?
No.
My wife and I play it, so.
Everybody at my job talks about it, though. They take breaks to go catch Pokemon. I'm just not. I ain't about that life.
Nah, continue on, Morty.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I did want to just address Mirage there in the chat. Banning viewers. Okay, so Mirage, just to let you know, it does depend on the Twitch streamer you're going to encounter. Some of them have rules, and if you do something, like if they don't want to hear it, I mean, that's their channel. If they ban you, that sucks. But,
right.
that just means that, hey, they lost you as a viewer, and now you're going to go watch someone else. That's on there.
Right, now when we ban here, we ban people for being assholes. Like people come on here and they say racist things, don't dress that toward me. Or, they say something disrespectful to the other guys here. Yeah. That's usually the only time we ban people. We don't ban you for having a difference in opinion. Hell, we'll sit here and talk to you about your opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
This is open, free discussion.
Yeah, now
as long as you're not an asshat, we're good.
Now the catch is that as far as our format goes, we usually don't discuss a lot of topics from the chat. We usually have an actual set itinerary, I guess you could say, of topics we're discussing that we oftentimes struggle to get through within our 90-minute format as is. So unfortunately,
because we drift off of topics like we've done a lot tonight.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, so is it fucked up?
Very.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know the context of the scenario, so I don't know if you got banned from a channel. I can't say I didn't see it happen, so I don't know if it's fucked up or not. But as far as, if they did for some ignorant reason, look at it this way, man. You are their livelihood as a viewer. If they ban you, that means they're screwing their livelihood. So that's on them.
Right.
Aside from that, you're not going to see that here. Just keep things civil and intelligent discussions. What we strive for here. So
yeah, and don't spam things in the chat. Like if you want to share a link, that's great. We may or may not.
Oh no! If
it.
he's on Twitch, he can't share a link. Nightbox,
yeah,
aggressive
YouTube
robot overlord.
Yeah, YouTube is just built in and won't let him do it.
Yeah,
well, there
exactly.
goes that. Blame Morty on that because he has the
because
bots.
I don't want people spamming shit in my chat. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So in any case, let's go ahead and get moving on there. Yes, Travis, Pokemon Go, good times. So have you been playing it?
No.
You really should. It's
No.
fun.
I'm really not all that interested in it, if I'm being completely honest. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy for what it is, and I'm hoping this trend of games takes off.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can, like, start up a revolution of American Monster Hunter. That would be the best.
That would be pretty cool.
But, whatever, right? It's just not my thing. If it had the same mechanics as real Pokemon, I think, or like similar mechanics to real Pokemon, I think I'd be more interested in it. But it doesn't, so I'm not.
Yeah.
I want to see, and I'm hoping that this is maybe even a test to see, like them testing the open source market.
Mm-hmm.
I'm such a fan of just open source everything for the most part.
That's why he's such an AMD fanboy. What?
I was actually about to say that's why I'm such a big fan of what AMD does, because I love how open they are. I'd love to, I don't like the idea of exclusivity. I don't like the idea of proprietary hardware too much. I'd love to see, more, especially Nintendo games, go toward the mobile market. I don't think that'll happen, mostly because the Nintendo dominates the handheld market. But I just think about, they probably got a lot more money too if they found a way to get more of their IPs on the mobile and can make it work.
Like you imagine the thing is Pokemon has the unique capability of having kind of the faceless protagonist, right? Whereas some of their other big IPs like Mario or Zelda don't have that faceless protagonist that you can, push out to a mass social gaming phenomena like what Pokemon Go is. Now, my main thing...
I'm thinking more so, how do you make a platformer work on a touchscreen?
Well, I don't know. That is a tricky one. I mean, you could do it, and I played Mario RPG on a Super Nintendo emulator on my phone before. It was a little janky, which is what got me interested in the NVIDIA Shield when it first came out, because supposedly there was going to be a controller. And then they released the second generation of NVIDIA Shield and said, yeah, the first one's not going to get the controller, the second one will get it. And I pretty much told NVIDIA to go fuck themselves.
And then bought the graphics card.
Huh?
And then kept buying the graphics cards.
That was after I bought their graphics card, but whatever.
You're buying a 1080 Ti.
Yeah, or 490X or Fury, the newest version of the Fury, whatever's the best performance for that around that flagship price tag. That's what I'll be getting. Anyway.
I just want your Team Red Master Race.
Yeah, I am not any team when it comes to corporate products. I am who gives me the value for the best price. That's who I buy, because that is my job as a consumer, is to reward who does the better job at selling me things. Not who I'm fucking a corporate slave for.
So you're not going to be a fanboy? No matter how hard I try to get you to be a fanboy?
No. You're not going to get me to be a fanboy of anything. You can go on your AMD fanboy raids. Yeah, man, you got people chatting on your videos that are AMD fanboys. They're all
NVIDIA
for it.
too. I had an NVIDIA one come up the other day.
Oh, and then you've got the console fanboys. They're all, man, you just attract them. It's like a magnet.
It is. And then I pissed them all off with my glory. I pissed them off when I was like, yeah, I made a video called Life After 1080p. That pissed them off also when I got my 1440p monitor.
That is amazing. But in any case,
Oh,
though,
like, fuck you, we're so console, we get it at 1440p.
so the discussion with Pokemon Go mainly centers around not necessarily because Pokemon Go's in the news so much because it is a big social phenomenon. Obviously, you've heard bad stuff like people doing stupid shit like getting in car wrecks or getting shot at while playing Pokemon Go, which that's not the fault of the video game. That's just people
being
doing
morons.
people doing stupid shit or people being bad people. You've also had crimes getting solved because people are finding dead bodies or, that were missing because they're trying to hunt for Pokemon in places. You've had crimes get averted because the places that normally are abandoned and people don't go to that become high crime areas because the lack of people there now are becoming lower crime because now there's Pokemon players around and people don't want to do bad shit while people are watching.
I saw a guy almost walk into the street trying to catch a Charmander or Charizard or something.
Like I said,
Well, Charmander is the shit. I understand that.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing is that dude's a moron because your like little circle, your radar circle, is pretty fucking big. You know, it's pretty big. So like whenever people are talking about like breaking into house trying to catch a Pokemon, I call bullshit on that one.
People are morons.
There's no reason you would have to break into a house. But in any way, let's bring it back on here. The main topic I want to discuss because I noticed this when I was like, God damn, there's just nothing but Pokemon stories. Every fucking one of them. Either like there was actually one news story about Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto, the two stars of the new Star Trek movie coming out, were asked about Pokemon Go, and they were just like, they weren't having it. They were like, it's actually disturbing and scary. They don't like it at all. And then reading the comments on a lot of these Pokemon stories that you see on gaming sites, there's some really, really people that are like spewing a lot of vitriol over the game. And obviously, yeah, you get some people that are jealous, but some people are just like, it seems like the stronger the social acceptance of it, the stronger the social resistance to it.
Oh, that's just the Digimon fans.
I've already seen so much Digimon shit where it's like the intro of Pokemon with the Digimon music. Oh, that was hilarious. But yeah, so why do you think guys think that the gaming community has to be so divisive? Like the more popular something it is, the more popular the dissent. Right.
I feel like this is basically universal with anything that's
liked,
right? Like
people love to hate you when you're on top.
Yeah, I suppose that's. I mean, the thing I notice is that like there are some areas where the superior, the better person or whatever is politely congratulated by the loser, so to speak. And the fans are cordial and respectful. I know that sounds really alien and weird to everybody out there in internet land, but there are people that have this base concept of acting like civilized fucking adults.
But the internet is a mix of children, adults, and man-children. And most of the time that you have, most people that you bump into day to day are man-children and actual children.
Yeah. And it's like, the thing that baffles me a lot on here is like, hey man, you don't like it, cool. You don't have to play it. If someone, run like one of those rare cases, and these are rare, hence why they're making news stories. But if you do get one of those dumbass people that walks out into the street or is driving their car while they're playing Pokemon, as the New York Police Department said, don't catch them all and drive. And you get hit by them. Yeah, that sucks, man. As long as you have insurance, guess what? Shit's gonna get repaired. Life will move on. If you get injured by some unfortunate accident as a result, you'll get medical treatment and hopefully everything will be okay.
But you have uninsured motorists too, because people like to ride around with no insurance.
Yeah. in which case, as a result, most insurance policies nowadays have an uninsured motorist clause. The thing is that those cases are very few and far between. Most people play Pokemon smartly, and they're not being idiots and walking out in the street or driving on the freeway playing it. And I feel like a lot of the people that are spewing vitriol are, like you said, man children. They have that anonymity of the internet thing where they feel like they can be as poisonous as they want and no one knows their face.
Mm-hmm. I think the problem is partly too is like how you live your life. Like, what's your life like that you go on the internet and shit on people?
Like, there's one of the guys that I was seeing on GameSpot he was just, oh boy. Like, so the story was about some guy that had caught all of the Pokemon.
I saw that he beat the game.
Yeah, well, I mean, he'd caught all of them except for the 4 legendaries and a few region-specific ones, like Mr. Mime, which can only be found in Europe, and so on. He was from the United States, from New York. He caught all the ones that can be found in the United States. And he was working out a deal with like a hotel chain to, like, because it gets good publicity, and he's spinning it the right way. He's gonna get to fly around the world on someone else's dime to catch those last few Pokemon. Cool, man. That's great on you. He plays it with his girlfriend. The guy is a successful businessman, that sort of thing. Like, when you read the story, this is just a normal guy that has some free time. He goes on long ass walks to get all this shit done. Some dude in the comments is like, making comments like, and while he's out walking around catching this Pokemon, his girlfriend's on her back by underneath some guy that pays attention to her. I'm like, first of all, dude, she plays with him.
She's walking with him.
Yeah, she's there with him. They're probably having fun together. I'm like, this is some dude that is upset because, and some guy commented back. I love this. Comment back from some guy was like, so this guy, when he was a kid, his Uncle Charlie, in quotation marks.
Uncle Charlie did things to him?
No, Uncle Charlie gave him Pokemon Red, and he was so excited to play it. He sat down in his bedroom one night, booted up his Game Boy Color, and started playing Pokemon Red. And through the wall, he heard the moans from his mother as Uncle Charlie gave her the time of her life while her husband was at work. And that destroyed his childhood. And now, flash forward to the future, and he gets pissed off anytime Pokemon is mentioned. I'm like, dude, that is so cold-hearted. This is what the internet devolves to. But that's
that's savagery.
Yeah,
savagery on the internet is approved.
That's savagery, but dude just like came out uncalled for, like just tearing this guy down because this guy has, and people are like, there's another person who, can't understand these people need to play video games to exercise. He's like, I used to be fat and I blah 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 exercise this and that. And I'm like, that's great that fitness nuts, those people that are super into fitness have a good time and are entertained by working out.
I just wish
the average person
shut the hell up.
The average person fucking hates working out. It is tedious and boring as fuck. Guess what? Catching Pokemon while you're walking is entertaining. You're out moving, you're exercising, you're not sitting around, and you're doing something fun. So you don't even realize that you're walking around. So to any fitness nuts out there, that's cool, man. You have fun working out. I don't mind at all. I'm walking, miles every day just because I have to. But that's not for everybody. Not everybody finds that entertaining. That's why they have TVs in fucking gyms. So you can watch TV while you're on a fucking treadmill. Because walking on a treadmill is fucking boring. Like, anyway. Yeah, that's kind of my thought on it. Is that, like, I feel like Travis is right, though. It's like everything in life. Everything has every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Right? This has become like a huge social phenomenon. So as a result, the reaction has been equally negative.
Salty.
Yeah, like people that are, for some reason, just So angry. So
You know
angry.
what's something interesting about Pokemon Go is that it's it's not the most complex game,
Yeah.
but it is more complex than you usually see
Mm.
for games of this popularity,
Well, as I put
right?
it, it is literally a Pokemon skin on the game Ingress,
Right.
which Niantic has already made. It literally they just reskinned it and threw a little few extra things. So it also really took them no work. So it's a very high
Right.
profit game for Nintendo.
Right, but that's, from like a social factor, I think it's interesting
Yeah.
that this game it's so big despite being on a slightly higher level than something like Candy Crush or whatever.
Yeah. It's more social than Candy Crush, certainly.
It's more social, and I think the game itself has more nuance to it, like more complexity.
Yeah.
Um,
I think a lot of it too is that like I said, there's a the main thing is the social thing is that it's everybody knows about it. My wife and
Hmm.
I were walking around one night, walking past some lady's front yard. She's watering her lawn. She's like, "Have you caught any yet?" You just know, like they just know.
just some random lady,
Yeah,
yeah.
just some random lady. She knows.
Like,
Like
can you think of any other, like, in any other situation, you just walk by random people and like they talk to you, like
I've had it all the time. I tend to
Older
wave
people
and
do
say
it.
hi to people. Like it depends. So let's be honest. First of
maybe
all,
maybe it's different because like where I live is different from where
yes.
you're in more like and like Seattle is different, right? Like
Well, so
it's
here
No, not
let's no let's
necessarily.
let's 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 first break down something real quick, just because we want to get the elephant out of the room. Had Kev been walking down the street, no one would say anything to him, and
Right. I'm a 6'3", 300-pound black man. They're not saying shit
yeah,
to me.
like exactly. And it's mainly that last descriptor on there. He's a
What,
black
six
guy.
foot three, 300-pound black man?
No, because you're black. Let's
Yeah.
be honest. A black guy walking down the street with his phone. Not and most places you go to, they're not going to say anything to, because I don't know. Because people are, I don't know.
People fear things that are different.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas a 6'1", 200-pound white guy, everybody's like, oh yeah, he's just an average white person. Especially walking there with his wife. Oh, no big deal. So first of all, you have that working. Second of all, this area that I live in, people tend to be generally friendly. Um, you know, like people here now in this area, it wouldn't matter what color you are. People tend to not give two shits in most cases. You still find assholes. You find assholes everywhere, but that's the main thing is. And here, a lot of people are playing it. Like this is the only place in the world I can think of where I could be at a Pokestop, which is the entrance of a park, at 10 o'clock at night when it's dark out, and there's some other person just standing there, and you're not like thinking, God, is he a pedophile? No, like normally you see some dude just sitting there at the entrance of a park at night. He's creeping, like what's he doing there? But
At night, though, what are the kids doing there?
no, it's not. It's not. I mean, he was younger, maybe 20 something.
Hmm.
well,
Guy.
and I think what I was trying to get at is that, like, it seems like the game has opened up more social interaction out in the world, or whatever, compared to what was going on before. That's just my take on it.
Yeah, well, and also to what Zyphon's saying is that yes, it is an us versus them psychology, a false dichotomy. You're absolutely right. And the thing is that group mentality does escalate aggression, but so does things that people are uncomfortable with, right? So people that are not playing the game, the thought that there's a game out there that forces you to go out and be social and go outside. And I'm not dissing people here. Some people legitimately find that to be downright fucking scary. Like just the idea of having to go outside scares the shit out of some people. What happens when people get scared? They lash out. So, like, that guy that's just spewing straight up vitriol at someone on the internet, he could be an agoraphobic. You know, like, where, like, literally the thought of a wide open space with crowded, like, people around just paralyzes him with fear, and as a result, his first instinct is to get angry. Who knows? I think if that's the case, you should learn a bit about yourself and not go on the fucking internet and just start smashing on your keyboard and being a keyboard warrior. But, you know, whatever. Teach their own. You just look like an idiot to me.
Oh, it's not just a look.
Yeah, well, yeah. But,
He is an idiot.
So, Travis, are you going to start playing Pokemon Go with Rachel?
Unlikely, but, you know.
I mean, your phone can run it. Downside is it depends on where you're playing it, because you have to kind of have internet.
My phone cannot run it.
You can't. Oh,
God.
damn.
I have a
run it on your laptop. There's an emulator.
I have a Kyocera Hydro that I got 3 years ago.
Well, find the emulator. The emulator will run it.
So yeah.
Wow.
No, the phone barely runs when I'm not doing anything on it. So no, won't work. Sorry.
Sounds like so he needs to get a new computer and a new phone.
Yes.
Yep.
You're correct.
So, Kev, could you ever see yourself playing it?
Nah. Well, if they added battles, because that was my whole thing, is I want, like, if you can give me a Pokemon game, I want a real fully fledged Pokemon game. I'm not just gonna go around catching cute little creatures. Now, if I can make Charmander fuck a Bulbasaur, maybe.
So here's the thing: is supposedly, and again, I will stick with my hardline stance of do not judge something off of possibilities. So if you're not gonna play it, don't play it. But supposedly they might be adding trading and battles in the future. Right now, you can battle, but only against gyms. And so there are some technical things, and I understand why they haven't gone straight to adding this update yet. So here's the thing: this is the way it lays out. You go out and you catch your damn Pokemon, and then there's gyms that you'll see periodically, and you can go and battle those gyms down and take them over, and depending on what of the three teams you're on. Well, so the thing is that first of all, they have had periodic and semi-frequent problems with I don't think they expected the popularity of this thing. So they've been having problems with their servers, like getting overwhelmed. It's gonna happen. I don't think there's any way you can really plan for the amount of reception this game got. I mean, how the fuck do you do that? So,
but the servers are still bad. Like, my son was trying to play it on his tablet yesterday.
Yeah,
he couldn't get on at all,
and it's still bad. And they're working to get that upgrade, because I don't think that's not a quick fix, right? It's the complete overhaul of
you got to overhaul your infrastructure.
Yeah. So once they get that fixed, because right now the main thing that they're working on right now is if they released battles, that would require a nice, strong server to kind of back that up. Like, I would hope it would be in some turn-based format, because to me that seems like that would be the only way that would really, make any sense. Because if you just did it how the gyms work now, that makes no sense. So the gyms are essentially you're fighting, even though a person put their Pokemon on that gym, you fight an AI-controlled variant of that Pokemon. And then essentially you go in there and it's kind of a quasi-real time. They're attacking you and you're attacking them. And it turns out just to be tapping the screen and swiping to dodge. And I'm not very good at it, I'll be honest. So that doesn't really interest me much. It's more of the fun of walking around and trying to find the damn Pokemon. Here in my area, it tends to be less fun because there's no fucking Pokestops around here. There's one around the area, and then you have to kind of get more into the city to get stuff. Although, I caught Meowth today, which was awesome. So, no, Xiphon, they will not have subscription service. It's already free to play with microtransactions, although, honestly, the microtransactions don't really do much. I'm glad.
What are the microtransactions for?
So here's where the microtransactions come in. So they have a few
Pokeballs,
items,
maybe?
huh?
Are
Yeah.
the Pokeballs, maybe?
Pokeballs are one of them, although as long as you can semi-frequently hit up one of the Pokestops, which are geographic locations that you walk within a certain range of them, and then you can tap on them and collect Pokeballs and other items. So the thing is that with the other items that are sold there, Pokeballs, there's eggs that give you extra experience, but that doesn't necessarily give you any benefit. Whatever. And then you have lures, which that one, what that does is you go to a Pokestop and you drop one of those on a Pokestop, and it'll attract more Pokemon for 30 minutes, which doesn't necessarily benefit you at all. If the Pokemon's going to be there, it's going to be there. But the main thing that I am appreciative of is that they do not sell one of the resources in there. The two main resources that you find is candy and dust. I think it's called dust, something like that. Whatever dust. Candy you get are exclusive to a Pokemon type, or a Pokemon evolution, I should say. So if it's Pidgey, you'll have Pidgey candy that applies to Pidgeotos and Pidgeots, so the evolutions of them. You use it to evolve and to grade up the toughness of a Pokemon. You cannot buy those candies. Powering up a Pokemon to make them a little bit tougher takes that candy and dust. Also cannot buy the dust. So
good, because that would be pay to win.
Yeah, exactly. I'm happy that those ones require you to actually catch Pokemon and do the fucking work. So you can't evolve Pokemon for money, But supposedly once they get the infrastructure shit in order, then they will be able to implement fighting and possibly trading. I'm looking forward to that. I hope they do it. But like I said, that's an intangible now. So still pretty awesome to just walk around, get out, hey, you see your neighbors for the first time in 30 years. Yeah. Anyway, so let's go ahead and we're going to kind of roll in. The Evergreen's not really so much an Evergreen as it's kind of a wrap-up of a lot of things on here. So, obviously, this episode, as the title implies, is the season finale of our first season of the podcast. The oddball 49 episodes that we've aired, which is very odd length, but whatever. It actually technically is 2 weeks past our 1 year anniversary. So in any case though, so there's some announcements to people, and then we're going to kind of discuss highlights of this past year, of which Travis has been with us for 90% of it. So the first thing is,
besides the first 3 or 4 episodes, we had Jurassic Jeremy before he
exactly.
dropped out.
But so obviously the first announcement there is the second season will air up on September 4th. So the month of August will not be doing any podcasts and take that off to handle personal business, adulting, and to enjoy a little bit of the summer. Whatever. And that may be something that we continue to do. Next year, we may also, take a break for a month during August and then start back up in September as well. Just because, I don't know, gives us some time to reflect on our news gathering sorts and keep our level head and not be too cynical all the time.
Plus, not to mention, summertime is after E3. Mm-hmm. Gaming gets really slow. Like, gaming news gets really slow. And then we hit the flood of all the games coming out.
Yep.
And just like then right after Christmas, it gets kind of slow again.
Yep.
It's like the month of January.
Yep. And that's kind of where we're looking at it. So there's a kind of a deliberate thing on there. It happened to coincide with also my channel kind of going on a break for a little bit because I'm doing some moving stuff. But the main thing on there is that we're probably going to do the break for the podcast on an annual basis, just because, like I said, it's good for us to kind of take a break and reset our brains for a little while, and in that way it also gives Travis time to reflect on what
Ascension.
On Ascension, yes.
On the sins of my something
on your potato gaming ways. So in any case, though, so obviously the first announcement on there is that it's going to be a month before we start up again. The second announcement, and I'm going to be repeating this pretty frequently, is we are actually going to be changing channels that this is going to be streaming live to. We are actually creating a Pixel Crashers channel on YouTube. And we will be having links and all that stuff once it's sent up. Check us out on Twitter. Kev and I will probably be spamming those out a lot to get some awareness out to them over the next month. So that way people can head over there. So it's going to be on a new Pixel Crashers channel, which is also going to have more content longer down the line. But for now, it's just going to be the podcast there. As to try to include everybody but myself talking, like the other content, or I should say, start off by like some of the fond memories of our podcast. Travis, has there been any episode of this podcast that stood out to you? I can think of one that I think you stood out to you, but
goodness, we've had so many.
Yeah, we've had a lot of episodes.
It's really difficult to try and, especially right now when I'm exhausted. What's the one you're thinking of right now?
That time you caught me with a mouthful of food.
Oh yeah. I think Joe falling asleep. I think that the first time we caught that was rather great. Hilarious.
There was an episode last year, so it's been a long time ago. Last year there was an episode that we were talking about microtransactions, and you and Joe had a vastly different opinion from myself, and we were actually, semi-heatedly debating it.
Right.
And you had expressed that you actually had liked that because we don't want it to sound like an echo chamber in here. We want different opinions.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there hasn't been a whole lot of those. But
yeah, I think most of it's because I've been tired and not.
Well, a lot of it is too like usually when you get the heated debates there between Morty and me, because Morty and me we agree on a lot of things, but there are some things where we are just polar opposites on opinions on, like reviewers, like game reviews.
I think we just need to officially start the Cup of Joe Coffee Fund. Link to Patreon or whatever.
Oh, and a quick shout out, yes. So as far as when we start back up in September, also big announcement, Zyphon is actually going to be joining the podcast on a regular basis. Yes, that guy shilling for a Steam controller.
I'm excited for that. I think Zyphon will.
He will add a lot of diversity.
I think that he. Yeah, I think
a lot of diversity. That's rich.
Well, as far as opinions go.
No. I say that as in people oftentimes will mistake Zyphon and I for each other.
I think that he'll bring a lot more of that. Yeah, that heavy debate into it because he likes to debate. I know he does. The one thing that we need to watch out about is devolving into computer specs.
Yes, because that would mean there's three people that are hyper technical in here.
Right. Yeah.
So Travis, what it sounds like is that you just need to get more technical.
I think I am, right? Because I want to go for computer security, so I need to get there.
Mm-hmm.
When you get to this computer security, you'll be like me and be like, I don't know. Now, I just want to be sure. We were talking about also moving the show to Saturdays. The 4th is a Sunday.
You are absolutely correct. I need to fix that because that is absolutely wrong. I am bad at picking dates. That would be airs on the 3rd of September, everybody, and we'll make sure that we anywhere that I post that out.
Our second show back will be on my birthday.
Nice. Your birthday, September 3rd?
10th.
Oh, 10th. Yep. Second show back. I can count. I swear.
Sure.
Yeah. So it'll be the Kev birthday stream.
Yeah.
I'll have to quickly run together and get like little like a vector of a I'll get a vector of a birthday hat and put it over your head on the camera.
But if you give me an Xbox Live or PSN card, I'm gonna look at you maybe crazy.
You gonna burn it? You gonna burn it for him on stream? All right, guys, here we go. So 10th of September, send Xbox Live and PSN cards to Kev, and he will burn them on the podcast. I'm throwing that out there. Real talk here. He's gonna burn them on the podcast without redeeming them. Without redeeming them.
Like, well, I'll still have my PS4. The Xbox, though, it's teetering on the way out. Just because right now, and I've talked about this, my kids play it, but they play multi-class. So I'll probably just, and I'm looking at building a home theater PC out there anyway. So I'll probably just start getting their games on the home theater PC because I'll be damned if I keep paying for Xbox Live. Maybe grab a couple Steam controllers, hook that up to it, and they'll play there. That's my plan.
Yeah.
Because fuck paying for Xbox Live. PSN don't get no favors either. As soon as it expires, I doubt I'll be renewing that either.
So Kev, on topic, most memorable moment you can think of on the podcast?
I'm going back to what I mentioned before, when you and I got into it about game reviews and reviewers. And because we have very vastly different opinions on there, I don't trust anyone's opinion more than my own on a game. And obviously, you were like, somebody that's more experienced has the authority to kind of say, okay, this is a good game. I'm like, yeah, but I played a lot of games like Skyrim. I do not like Skyrim. Mm-hmm. But everybody says, oh, Skyrim is a masterpiece. It's the best RPG ever. I don't like Skyrim.
Well, here's the thing.
So you can tell me it's going to make me feel that Skyrim is a good game.
No, so here's the first thing is, and this is the way I kind of look at it, with game reviews. So game reviews are going to have a heavy amount of opinion to them, and not everybody's, like, it doesn't matter how fucking great The Witcher 3 is. A lot of people do not like that style of game. They don't like the way it's laid out. They don't like the combat, etc. It just does not feel right to them. It can be a technical marvel. It can look gorgeous, and it can have a great storyline. They just don't like it. And you know what? That is fucking fine. You are not required to like Skyrim, Kev. At no point.
Hell, half the time I disagree with Total Biscuit, like almost half of his reviews.
You know what? That's fine too.
Games that I don't.
I don't agree with him a lot too either. I personally was very critical of his going back to Warframe video.
Oh yeah, that was.
I felt like that was like almost like paid shilling, even though he wasn't paid for it.
It kind of was with the microtransactions. He didn't have to go through the grind like a guy like me.
Well, he wasn't paid by Digital Extremes to play the game.
Oh,
he however leveraged his viewer base to skip a lot of the grind, to skip the, at that time, really horrible new player experience. Now, I have not touched it yet. I'll be getting back into it, probably, come September when I start streaming again. But the catch is that I will, that the new player experience at the time that he put up that video was fucking atrocious, where essentially a new player would start playing and then they get past the initial tutorial, they know what the buttons do. What the fuck is Nitane? What the fuck is this? What does all these resources do? What am I doing? Like, there's so much information thrown at you and no real easy way to digest it in that game, and he just
that is my problem with Warframe right there. I can't digest it.
Now that's the thing, is that may have gotten better. I cannot confirm that because I have not done it myself. But yes, now as far as us with the reviews and our debating on there, now the main thing that I've always been you and I've disagreed on is say when it came to hardware reviews, and whenever I would. Yeah, I would, you would see a review, you would look at a lot of different reviews and kind of, take all of them with a grain of salt, but the aggregate of all of the reviews would kind of give you an idea of what the piece of hardware would do. Right. Whereas I would tend to, not wanting to kind of, essentially grade myself out on a product that I'm not really going to buy. I would look at reviews that were thorough and would go through a very scientific process of review like Tom's Hardware. Not to say that they are always the best reviewer, because I will be frank, outside of specifically the hardware reviews, that site is fucking unethical as shit. Any of their other news stories on there, I would not read them. Just don't even bother, because I question the veracity of any of their news stories except from hardware reviews, in which case a different staff of that company does those. And I've looked into it, I'm like, are you serious? Like, how can this be so different? Gripes aside, that is a difference of opinion we have. Is either one going to be superior? No, because I mean, honestly, you probably get a better view of things. But whenever I need to make the most of my time out of a product that I might just suggest to someone, but not by myself, I would probably say, hey, this is what Tom's Hardware says. You should probably go out and look at it further. Or Tom's Hardware said it was really piss poor. I'm not really going to recommend it as worth your time, but you're welcome to look at it yourself. That's my major thing is that despite me making recommendations to people, my next step is to tell them to go out and research it themselves. Which is why, for whenever Rogue was building his computer, yeah, we threw some builds, we threw some part advice at him, but we also gave him some tools to do some research himself. And as a result, hopefully he's happy with his computer nowadays. My highlight, honestly, I really liked the E3 live coverage we did, where we,
Man, that was so much fun.
That was fun, where we had a bunch of people coming in, and we only had, I think, two, three.
Yeah, and Nicodemus X with
I was upset because my internet was messing up. I need to get that fixed. I've had a router that I need to get around to bridging, and I just haven't done it yet because it's gonna be a pain, and I'm dreading it.
Yeah.
But hopefully next time we do something like that, my internet is good and constant.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
that was pretty. Honestly, I'll be honest. That was a pretty brutal stream all around, and yeah. I would say another highlight to me was also whenever we had before life hit him and kid and all that stuff. But whenever we had Invader 1 on the podcast, that was also great. I really want to get in
early episodes too. That was like episode 5, I think.
Something like that. Yeah, that was way long time ago. Now I really want to try to get more guests on here come season 2. Because I love having those outside opinions. No offense to you guys, but I've talked to you guys so much. Sometimes I feel like I could just
daily.
Yeah,
we talk daily. We get on each other's nerves. We argue. We mostly get along.
I've been trying to get Jeremy back once in a while so he can
I've been trying that for months.
Yeah.
Maybe I can reach out to Adam, the Forza guy I stayed with in Seattle, and have him come on or something.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Yeah, like I said, as long as it's people that have an intelligent perspective on gaming news.
Well, he's a Forza developer, so. And I'm very picky. Like, I've had people come to me and say they want to get on the show too. I'm very selective.
Yeah,
I'll say, and usually, even there's guys on here that I want to get on, I'll still run it by these guys. Mm-hmm. That's if you get through my filter. Guys,
you got to look at it this way. You see us three up here. You ever watch those reality TV shows like blah blah blah's Got Talent or whatever? Yeah, we're the judges. You've got to impress us. So
right. Now, there are some people that I've been wanting to get on here that I haven't been able to though. Like Wingy Gaming, I binge, and he's in the UK, so there's a time difference. I really want to get him on here.
Yep.
The Anchorman V, I've been wanting to get him on here.
Yeah, I even went on his podcast, So now I feel like he. I've
been trying to get Anchorman on here ever since they announced Fallout 4, and it was always scheduling, the time difference.
Yeah, it's all good, but yeah, so that's definitely something I look forward to, and obviously that's something that we'll work on, because also I feel as viewers watching it would probably like to see more than us saying the exact same thing every week, that the AMD is shit and Kev loves NVIDIA.
And Razer, don't forget Razer.
No. You love Logitech and Nvidia
And Corsair.
and Microsoft.
Oh, fuck Microsoft. Fuck them with AIDS invested dick, bro.
But yeah, so for a moment, for the month of August, do you guys have any major plans, gaming or otherwise?
Backlog.
Yeah, Kev has his 5,000 Steam game backlog.
Yeah, I got a lot of games on Steam. I've been tackling the backlog. I'm gonna start Transformers Devastation this week because everybody tells me that game is amazing. I got it for $12. I got the Ninja Turtles, Mutants and Manhattan, the one that I shit on, but I saw it on Steam for $20. So for $20, I'll play this, even though it's 30 frames a second. I'm enjoying the game. It's still kind of short. I'm like, I know it's like a 5-hour game. I'm like 3 hours into it. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I want to get caught up in the Resident Evil series because I haven't, outside of Revelations 2. Like, I never played 4. I never beat 5. I never played 6. And I never played 0. And I never played the remaster for the original. So I want to get through those two. And the Evil Within. I still got to beat Dark Souls 3. So there's a lot of games that I want to play. I've got to get through in my backlog. XCOM 2. Valkyria Chronicles. I still got to finish Far Cry.
That's one.
Get around to finishing Far Cry Primal.
That there actually may be some games, since my laptop can handle some of those games, as I've been testing and finding out. That's probably what I'm going to end up doing for a lot of August, is working on some of these simpler games that I can use on my laptop. But so Travis, any plans for August? You gonna go out in the nice, cool, fresh weather there in Florida? I mean, we know that it's wintertime there, right? It's wintertime in Florida this time of year.
Actually, I'm thinking about picking up like method acting, and there's this really interesting play that I've been looking into, and it's got kind of like a Louisiana theme. And
let me get into all this. Travis is afraid of video games.
I'm gonna be a boiling frog, okay? I don't think it'd be too
look on my face right now.
I get where
peasantry.
I get where you're going with this. So what you're saying is you're going to be in Florida, you're going to open up the window, and you're going to have an AMD based PC.
No, because he's not going to ascend.
No, he's saying he's going to do method acting as a boiling frog. So he needs the humid air from Florida, and then an AMD rig in his room there, and he will boil alive. Literally boil alive.
It's terrible. Florida is terrible. Just don't come here.
I still you get two different worlds with Joe's Arizona and Travis's Florida. The difference between 90 degrees and 100% humidity and 120 degrees with 5% humidity. One,
Joe's.
I don't trust me when I say I've gone from both. Okay, so here's the difference: is that one feels just like this, like you're oppressed by the air. You're breathing through a straw, right? That's Florida. So it's just wearisome. You get so tired doing anything. Whereas in Arizona, you literally you feel like you are the epitome of a piece of bread stuck in the toaster. You can literally feel your skin starting to burn on your body. It is,
and this is where we get completely away from gaming.
Yes, but that is the difference between humidity, right? One is oppressive, one is just like, oppressed by the air. And the other one is...
We need to play Rocket League. That's what we need to do in August.
Rocket League.
Rocket League.
Oh,
Rocket League is fucking...
I want to play it so bad.
That's going to be the next thing we stream. And we need to play against each other so that way we can yell at each other while we're playing it.
I'm terrible at Rocket League. I can't follow the ball for shit.
That's
But
okay.
I think I need to put more time into it because I think I've only played like maybe an hour of it, like between my PS4 and my PC.
Yeah,
I feel like I'd be worse than Donkey. Like honestly.
That's part of the fun, dude.
exactly.
We'll be so
The,
bad.
the thing is that what I feel like we missed out on Overwatch, doing this whole team play thing. No, we need to play Sabotage the Pixel Crasher, game where we play against each other and we just get pissed at each other. God damn it, Cav. Yeah.
But see, well, we don't miss that on Overwatch because I'm just the best Overwatch player here.
No, I feel
Yep.
like that
I know Canada's better than I am.
Travis would disagree with you.
Travis doesn't play.
Travis is
I
the
don't
best
play.
Overwatch player in existence.
But honestly,
he
I
is
feel
rank
like
100.
I feel like I'd be pretty good at it.
Well, then get
I feel
your
like I'd
laptop
be
and let's
pretty
play.
good at it.
I'm trying to rank up. Jeremy won't play with us anymore because, well, he won't play with Morty anymore because Morty brings his rank down.
Yeah.
I say that because I played with Jeremy today.
I mean,
Yeah, see, that's
I
the
don't
thing
really
is that
care
I
about
got
rank ever in games.
so
but,
so to give you guys a great example of how Blizzard royally fucked that ranking system. Little gripe here. So they were saying that, oh yeah, it has to do with if you win games and also the skill at which you play. There was at least 3 games in my qualifiers where I had like a 5+ KDR. 5+ KDR, like 2 to 3 deaths. Huge kill counts for the amount of deaths that would determine someone highly skilled. Several of those that I was playing support, I would get plays of the game with Mercy. I would just be wrecking shit with the character I was playing. At least the majority of the matches I lost. But I only won 3 of the qualifiers because I did them all pug. Whereas one of the guys in Rogue's group, they literally had a 6-man party for all of them, so he won, I think, like 9 out of 10. I started off ranked.
I went like 7 and 4, and I went pug.
Yeah, well, that like I said, it's all about luck at that point. You're rolling the dice, and you got more lucky than I did. I won 3, and I started out rank 37. This guy that
I was ranked like 53, I think.
Yeah, which sounds about right because this guy started off as rank 61 because he was with a 6-man party. They won, I think, 9 out of 10 games, and he's ranked 61 starting off. Doesn't necessarily mean he's any better. It just meant that he won more of the qualifiers. I think that is a broke-ass system because now it means that the level of play that like Kev,
it varies.
Jeremy, and those guys play at, if they go into a pug match, they tend to be in a group of people that are more serious about the game in a lot of ways. When you get into those 50 ranks, yeah, it's Espix Rogue. That was the one.
The 40s are pretty serious too, but the 40s is funny because I played in the 30s, I played in the 40s, I played in the 50s. The 50s, everyone's talking on mic, everybody's usually on the same page.
Yeah.
You get down to the 40s and the 30s. 30s, you get a lot of people that don't want to talk to nobody. They're all running around. It's still TDM to them.
Yeah, well, not 40s, even just that.
There's a lot of finger pointing, a lot of blaming. Nobody wants to take credit for anything. No one wants to take responsibility for anything. Nobody wants to work together. It's just, do what I say. Almost every match I'm playing, playing in the 40 ranks is not fun. Yeah. I loved it in the 50s. I even enjoyed it somewhat in the 30s because I was smashing them in the 30s. I'd go with 15 kill streaks.
The thing is if I go into a pug match solo, which I've done only a couple of times because most of the time when I'm streaming, I'm running with at least some of the guys that are ranked higher than me. So it brings the whole level up into the 40s most commonly. But if I go into a pug match, I just fucking destroy everybody ridiculously badly. And I feel like, why the what? This
I do that in quick play now. I've had a match with Steven today in quick play. I went 28-1.
Well, no, we Canada, Crass and I went into a quick play match, and oh my god, it was not fair. It was really, really not fair how badly we demolished that team. And I Anna, gold medal, final placard, Anna for healing.
Don't forget our 4-man Anna Death Squad.
Dude, no, that was 3-man. It was 3.
Yeah, but that was still epic. We destroyed the
3. Good
We had
God.
like 3 Annas and like 2 Reapers.
No, it was
Reapers.
three Annas, 3 Reapers. 50-50 mix.
destroyed
And
this
we
other team.
completely fucking demolished the other team because I don't think they understood what was going on. They didn't know how to react.
Yeah,
But
we just kept Reaper alive.
yeah, exactly. They
We
couldn't.
just kept the Reapers alive, and then would shoot them from across the map with Anna.
Yep.
So our ultimate at Reaper, then he'd go into his ultimate.
Yep.
It was glorious.
But so in any case, we're gonna go ahead and get wrapping up here for the night. Hopefully, we're getting
It's a
Travis
2-hour
excited.
show.
Yeah, we're pushing 2 hours for the show. That is not a portent of anything to come. We're still gonna try to keep it in that 90-minute mark. We kind of digress towards the end here, but it's all good. Travis, real quick, final thoughts before you fall asleep.
Sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 1 in the morning there, bro.
Yeah.
Man, I'm looking forward to getting started again already. You know, and hopefully things will be different when we do.
Yeah, when we're streaming in the morning, not late at night when he's about to pass out.
Yeah, and whenever I have hopefully a PC, maybe, I don't know, we'll see.
Yep.
I'm a poor college student now. Things are difficult. Life is hard.
Well, you might need a laptop. Actually, I'll send you a link. I saw Joker Productions did this review on a gaming laptop for college students. It was like $500.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll send you a link. I saw it yesterday, and it was pretty decent. Sometimes you have to lower the resolution down or whatever, but it played games really well.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Kev, final thoughts.
Season 1 was great. Enjoying it. Excited for season 2. But also excited to take a break, kind of revamp the show, decide what we want to do, decide how we want to bring the show to a new level. And, of course, subscribe to me, Kev the Gamer, because I'm not going to stop making content.
Nope.
We're just going to move, like I said, Pixel Crashers over to the new channel. I may or may not continue to do the VODs on my channel, because that keeps me up till like 1 in the morning, and then I have to get up early for work on Monday, and it's easier just to keep it on the Pixel Crashers channel, I think.
Yeah.
So I made to do that.
Yeah, and we'll be obviously sending out a lot of material for that channel so that way you guys can subscribe to it. We would definitely love to get it started off on a good foot so everybody knows where it's at. But yeah, obviously Kev is still going to be making content. So down in the description of this video, you will find a link to his channel. He will have this episode up tomorrow on a video on demand with some good old-fashioned gameplay to go with it. So definitely check that out. Subscribe
I got
to
all
him.
kinds of games this week. I got Gears of War. I got some of the Turtles. I got Overwatch. All kind of mixed in there.
Good times. And like I said, he also posts other content as well. He likes to very much share his thoughts about it. So definitely go give him a subscribe there and harass him on every video he complains about AMD not being better. I'm just kidding. But in any case, as you guys know, I'm Angelus de Mortiel. And like I said, while my channel will be quiet for the next month, I will be not posting any new content on there for the time being. I will be back on September with the new podcast season and with new content otherwise, and we're going to start getting things a little bit more ramped up on my channel. However, the podcast will be moving to that new Pixel Crashers channel, and we're going to be setting up media on there for you guys to find out. I will be tweeting it out, so if you guys find a link down below for the Twitter handle on there, then you can actually find me on Twitter. You can find Kev on Twitter as well. It's Kev the Gamer, I believe, as well on there.
Kev Plays Games.
Oh, yeah, that's right. At Kev Plays Games on Twitter, and that way you can follow him. He'll be posting up stuff on there as well. Mine is simply at Mortiel, very simple there. So, and we'll be still in communication for that as well. Finally, most importantly on there, we do have a Discord server. The link is in the description. That's a permalink. It will not expire at any point in time. Feel free to join us. You can chat with us at any time. And also, if we're ever playing games, there's a variety of rooms we have for different games that we're playing at the time. You can hop in there, catch a game with us, or see the random shit that we're talking about on that day. In any case, we're going to go ahead and sign off for the night. It's been great seeing you guys for this first year, and we've absolutely loved this first season of the podcast, and we look forward to seeing you guys all come September 3rd for the second season of the Pixel Crashers podcast. Cheers.